Alright, hi, I'm Louise from Stampendous, and I'm going to show you how to paste emboss this pine cone and then put some glitter and embossing enamels on it. So the first thing we do is put our stencil down on the paper, and we're going to use removable tape to tape down all the edges. So I'm going to start with one piece across the top and one piece across the bottom. And then we're going to come down the two sides, and you want to notice that I'm working in full pieces of tape because you don't want any seams for the paste to seep under. So you want to work in full long pieces of tape. And then I always just go around the edge to make sure the tape is down really well. We're going to use our offset palette knife and paste spreader and our gold embossing paste to first put a layer of paste down. So you pick up the paste on the back side of your palette knife, and you're just going to put it right along the edge. Right along the edge. Not pushing it back at all. You want it right up to the edge. And it only has to be about as wide as your stencil. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit more here. Okay. So what I do is I set it straight up and down at the top of my stencil. People want to hold their hands out here, but you want your hands in the middle. Just tilt it slightly and just light pressure to bring the paste right down your stencil. And you get, in one scoop, you get your paste on your stencil. Then you're going to just take your extra, put it right back in the jar. Alright. And then I just have a little pan of water over here. I'm just going to set my tools in that pan of water. There we go. And I'm going to tap my jar down and just wipe off that edge. You never want to leave paste on the edge of your jar before I close it up. Okay, so now I'm going to take my tape off the same way I put it, the opposite way I put it on. So now I'm taking off my two side pieces and then my bottom piece. But I'm going to leave this top piece on. That acts as my hinge. So it's going to help me lift my stencil up and off. And I can put that stencil flat in some water. So now the fun begins, because I'm going to take that pine cone and put it in a coffee filter. And you can either use a cut straw, or you can use right out of the jar. And I'm just going to sprinkle some of the glitter. This is a green micro glitter, and I'm not too worried if I get it all over the needles. And I'm going to tap off a little, and then I'll go to the next spot. Tap that off, and I keep tapping away from my pine cones because I don't want it to get too much green on my pine cones. If I get a little bit of green on my pine cones, that's okay. The cut straw helps you be a little more accurate, but this doesn't have to be really exact. So you can see you can pretty quickly cover those pine cones, or the needles. Okay. Now those little ones right in there, those I will take I'll take my straw. I just pick up a little bit of glitter and tap it on there. And then tap that off. So there's my green micro glitter on there. I think this is lime probably. I'm going to put that right back in the jar, all the extra. Okay. And now I'm going to take the aged copper. These aged embossing enamels are just amazing. So I'm going to take the aged copper, and the aged enamels have different things in them. So this one has some verdigris, probably verdigris in it, doesn't it? And I just love that. There's a little bit of verdigris in there. So when I pour some out or sprinkle some out, I'm going to get just a little titch of greens in there too. And again, I don't worry if I completely cover my pine cones. So you can see already the texture on there, and I don't worry about that little bit of gold paste. I like some of the paste to shine through because it's going to dry with a beautiful metallic finish. Alright, so now I'm going to take a heat gun, heat tool. I'm going to heat it up just a little. And I'm going to start heating at the powders. I'm going to avoid the glitter areas a little bit, but I'm going to heat at the powders. And so between the powders and the paste, it's going to get a little bubbly. And you'll be able to see it starting to bubble and turn more coppery gold. And it's just so much fun. See how it's changing and getting a lot more dimensional. And actually more like a true pine cone, isn't it? It's got a lot of texture to it. So then we move over here and see that nice gold tip on there. Shows. Okay, and then I do go back to the needles and just give them a little heating, just to puff them up a little bit and dry them. Those dry pretty fast because they're very skinny. All right. So then you have this beautiful finish on there. I'm just going to kind of roll the paper. Now it's pretty warm right now, and you need to let it cool down. And it's only maybe about 80-85% dry. It still has to dry all the way down, and that'll take maybe about another 10 minutes to completely dry before you would want to work with it again. But fabulous technique and quick and easy.